Guys, sorry for the low tech. Today I'm Tom Fury. This is Zero News. I just wanted to. I was thinking about something um, from a while ago, and some of you will know that I have a kind of. I wouldn't call it a skill, but just a habit of accidentally pattern matching certain things. Only certain things. I'm not a tactician or anything like that. It's just this thing you've picked up from using computers too much, I suppose. Uh, and in So I've made these kind of weird predictions before, and they have. It's not based on guessing the future. It's based on what you can see right in front of you. And I remember saying to you, what was it, end of 2024, that 2025 would be a year of blood, which it was. And I also remember saying that the end of 2025, that 2026, huge statements would be made, and very very early in the year big things would happen, but it wouldn't take till summer. It wouldn't take all year. It was all these things were going to happen early, and it pretty much did from January, February, March. January, February, March, and continuing. Do you think any of that was due to my pattern matching skills or IQ, or because I'm smart? Or would you say it's just because I've got a pair of fucking eyes and ears, and so have all of you, and nothing I predicted there would have been a surprise to you? And if I'd give myself any credit for that, you'd quite rightfully think, well, that wasn't that clever to predict those things, because we could all see that, right? Fair enough? Then please tell me then, if that makes sense to you so far. If it does, then please tell me. I submit that to you. If I'm wrong, you tell me, but up to this point. But if that is the case, what has happened to what seems now like millions of our fellow countrymen? And I'm not talking about, let's keep immigration out of this for a second, because otherwise that complicates the issue. I'm talking about people like me and you, to make that simple. So many of them are subscribing to a socialist mindset. So many of them are talking Green Party out loud like it's a sensible solution and way out of the country's problems. Some of these people are quite normal. Some of them are very not. But how has so many of them cropped up? Like, literally, the one thing we always knew when I started this fight was the left had the loudest voices because they were in all the positions of power, but we always knew the majority was with us. We still do, but it's different now. We are still the majority, but the numbers of these fucking either misled people or fruitcakes. In terms of the fruitcakes, that's really what I'm looking at here. Owen Jones types and worse. They're only increasing in number, and in some cases, I've been watching YouTube videos and that, they're only getting slicker at making some of their arguments sound very, very reasonable, because they don't explain to people the other parts that are attached to it, what socialism really is attached to, what it's a vehicle towards. But even so, I've never seen so many people fall for it before. I even heard a guy the other day admitting that communism and fascism were the mistakes of the 20th century. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then he went on to tell us how wonderful socialism was, which is just the stage before communism. And this was quite a smart bloke. So he was either deliberately withholding information, or he's being willfully ignorant, or he's misleading people. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But wherever these people come from, do we realise, like, demographics or no demographics, do we realise that we're not just losing this country to immigration and other stuff and to our government. We're losing it to people making choices that they think are right. And in some cases, I don't know what the reasons are. In some cases, I don't know what their reasons are. For the people that do know, who are that far left, I just don't understand them. Never will. Never will. But that's not the point. Me understanding is not the point. Where are they coming from? Why are there so many now? How has this happened? How the f has this happened? And how do we stop it from growing? Well, I'll tell you one way we stop it from growing. And this is why I've been saying we need to win this next election. Because it's a culture war as much as anything else. I said this years ago that we were going through a cultural... Everybody knew we were going through a cultural war, but I said it was going to be a cultural revolution, one way or the other. One way or the other. And the one thing you have to admit, and I'll give you an example, right? One thing you've got to admit, right? They won a lot of the culture war. People go, no, they haven't. And I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example of what I mean and how the woke right doesn't realize itself. I've seen people, many people, reasonable, good people in our movement, whether they be creator or user, just a commenter coming on and commenting on the comments, good people, all of them, when talking about free speech, now say, yeah, free speech is fine, but hate speech, no. But hate speech was the thing, if you remember, that was created by the left that none of us agreed with. But now, I see so many people on the right adopting that very mindset now. And that it's embedded in them. I see them fighting for it in that way. Literally saying, no, hate speech is not all right. Now, I've never said that there might not be consequences for the things you say. That's another whole issue entirely. But I am kind of free speech purist in most ways. And yeah, people sold out on that and didn't know that they did. Because, as I said, when you're under attack all the time, some things are going to get in. And this is why I always say about the woke right, where are they? And the ideology of the left's like a fucking infection. And you've got to be really careful not to let it in. This is why so many people don't understand certain other creators who've got very strong opinions, because they're not as confident in their own opinions to be like that. And that's what a lot of it really comes down to, is that a lot of people have lost their confidence because they're so used to being called these stupid names that I'm not going to keep giving them credit for. But you know what names we get called. And it's lowered people's confidence. People need to get over that. And instead they need to be fighting against it and realise that if we want to talk about racism, then the very thing that is making them feel like that, feel like they need to vote Green Party, may simply be that very guilt system that's been imposed on them for the colour of their skin. And that they actually may be the victims of racism. But then told that that can't be true. Because people with white skin cannot be, cannot have racism against them. That's not possible, apparently, according to some geniuses out there. So, who do they go to? People are lost. People are lost. So, we've got a lot of work to do. And that's one thing I have realised. We've got so much work to do. Because I think, honestly, you may think I'm crazy. I think that some of those Green Party voters could be Restore voters. Because I think some of them are just placing their vote on a roulette wheel because they don't know what to do. Honestly, I do believe that, because some of those people I've spoken to, and I've spoken to quite a lot, they're normal people. I just think they need some hope, the same as the rest of us. I think we've got to be really careful from, at this moment, looking at the far left and the left, and because there's some people out there that don't even subscribe to all that. They're just doing what they think is right. We've got to get to those people. We've got to get to those people somehow. But to the rest of them, I just don't know where they've come from. But it worries me, because I do think that unless we get control of the narrative again, unless we get these things like the BBC sorted out and the councils and the civil service and other things sorted out, the child services, everything. All of this is only going to get worse until we will be the minority. And I don't just mean from immigration. I mean the minority in ideology and British culture. I really do believe that. That's coming very quickly because our own people are turning, probably out of fear, in fairness, but it's not good enough. So we that's why I am kind of like, we need to win this next election. I don't think we've got time another 5. If let's say it is in 3 years, I don't think we've got time to then wait another 5 years for another shot at it. I really think it's on a knife edge. Getting through this next 3 years, we all know is going to be, things could happen. We're seeing in Ireland, things could happen very soon that just blow the lid off. And at the moment, it's been a shit start to the summer. If we start getting heat waves, things will change. Believe me. So I don't know what we're going to do, but I do know we've got to fucking, to the people that can be got to listen. We need to find a way of getting to them without shaming them, without blaming them, without, we've got to find a way of again, I know it's getting a bit old, but winning hearts and minds. Somehow we've got to figure out how to do that. Otherwise, we're going to be dead in the water. I think we're going to need every fucking vote possible, because I think the left know what's going on here as well. They're not stupid. Well, and they're gonna come out fighting. I think at that next election, they have to, because I think this is a shit or bust election, and that's why I kind of don't want to snap one. Not really. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time. Let me know your thoughts if you have any on this, and I'll catch you soon. I'm Tom Fury. Sorry for the lo-fi video today. I'm Tom Fury. This is Zero News. I'm calling it a day for now.